Hello, my name is Beth McDonald Stone, and I'm an avid knitter and knitwear designer coming to you from Bermuda. I can see the reflection of my computer screen in my glasses, and I hope that if I stand like this, is that better? No, I'm joking. Sorry, it's what I can do. I'm in my office area, and it was the best place for me to try to record today. Um, there's a lot going on. It's that period of between Christmas and New Year's, Twixmas. Um, my son is home from university, and he's going to be back really soon with a lot of his friends. Um, it's a busy time of year, so I'm trying to squeeze this in. If there's noise and stuff like that, apologies. It is what it is. We also have a fridge down here that's literally 35 years old, and it can kick in and makes a funny sound. Apologies again for that, but it works better than our 3-year-old fridge upstairs, which we've had to replace multiple times. So I could unplug it, but it could really screw it up. You know how it goes, appliances and stuff like that. But anyways, I just got to get on with it. So apologies for everything that's not quite going exactly how I had planned. But here we are. Hope everyone had a great Christmas for those who celebrate. We did here. Really fun. Oliver came home, slept for like 4 days, and then sort of arose and joined us for Christmas and Boxing Day. And it was really good fun with family on the island. Now this week is his last week at home. He leaves on the 2nd to go back to school, and so now he's cramming in, catching up with all of his other friends on the island that have been elsewhere around the world for university. So that's really fun, and I'm glad about that. Also, we've got a visitor. One of my dearest friends is coming in from Halifax tomorrow evening. There's a direct flight, just FYI. There's new flights direct from Bermuda Air, Halifax, and a bunch of places in the States. So, if you ever want to come to Bermuda, look up Bermuda Air. It's a great option. Yeah, so this is like my little window of trying to get through this. And my concept for today was to talk about the 11 patterns that I've published this year in 2025. And I thought, oh, that's 11 patterns, like no big deal. The thing is, I tend to knit multiples of each one. So the 11 patterns have turned into about 20 something sweaters or tops. And so I've got a stack here. So I'm going to go through this stack because I've just steamed them so they don't look too pressed from being folded up to show off all their glory. And then I'll take a break, which will be a nanosecond for you. I'll steam the other 10 and we'll break it up into 2 halves. So that's how it is. But I'm just surrounded by sweaters. My shelves are pretty empty. Not empty, but for what they usually look like. They look a little skinned. Yeah, we'll get through it. And I'll try and do it quickly because it's a busy time of year. We want to do other things. But I hope this keeps you company while you are getting in some knitting. It's a great time of year to do other things and to also hang out at home and knit and watch TV and watch movies and hang out with family and listen to audiobooks and just do everything cozy that you want to do. So I hope you're doing that. The other thing I want to mention with all these 11 patterns, I'm going to have them on sale. They will be the featured pattern so 11 patterns. That'll be 20% off until January, so 2 weeks, so January 16th. Yes. January 16th, no coupon required. It'll just automatically check out in your cart. If there's a problem with it, the first person who did it the last time, there was a problem. I hadn't quite gotten it straight. Just let me know and I'll quickly fix anything. Ravelry is wonderful. I love Ravelry, but I do find that there's a lot of steps for sort of each function, and sometimes I don't quite get through to the finish line. And my attempt is always to, but human error. So if there's ever any problem with anything that I say or whatever, or inconsistencies or weird links down below, please let me know, and I'm really happy to fix it. Because I also find with YouTube, with what I put in the YouTube chatting notes, sometimes by the time it uploads, the links don't work. So again, just let me know if there's a problem, and I'll gladly fix anything. So speaking of links down below, what I've done is just, instead of putting links for every pattern, which is just too much for me, and I think it would take up too much space, because in order for them to work, they have to be in the really long format. I'm just going to link below my Ravelry store. And then you'll see all the names of the patterns that I'm mentioning now. You'll see the names and you can find them in the store. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought, because the other thing I wanted to say is I'm also going to try and insert pictures of me wearing the sweaters here. But if you don't find that they're there while I'm showing the sweaters, it's because I'm limited to how many images I can put on the video. So if they're not shown here, I will put in a longer sort of like a reel at the end of all of them. But hopefully I can get them all here. And I might, because I am limited, I might, for like one design concept, I might put all of them in one image so that we can minimize the individual photos that will come up here. So again, all these sort of administrative boring stuff that I'm only 3 years in, or 2.5 years into podcasting, really kind of figuring out. So I'll get it one day. Anyway, so let's get going. So 2025 was a busy year. It was a really busy year. 11 patterns published, which is great. It doesn't sound like a lot, but then when I look at these stacks here, I realize that because I knit things, some of them I only knit once, like it's totally, got my vision from what I can picture, whatever. And sometimes I think when I'm knitting them, I'm like, oh, I'd love to see it in this and love to see it in that. So some have one version, some have 2 versions, some have 4 versions. So there's a lot. So I have actually been really busy. The other thing that I like is that the patterns go from vests to sweaters to summer tops to transitional pieces, color work, cables, lace. It kind of covers it all. Where I always worry, like I feel like, oh, I'm stuck in a rut, or my designs are sort of too repetitive. And when I pull them all out for this 1 year, I can see that they're not, and I'm glad about that. Definitely when I pulled them all out this year, I was into, in 2025, oversized, that sort of cozy, oversized look, whether it's oversized all over, or my current favorite is to have fitted sleeves and an oversized box body. But yeah, oversized has sort of been a trend, and the colors have really been all over the place, everything from neutrals to brights. So yeah, I can't see any sort of consistent theme there, although pinks, blues, and greens and neutrals. That's probably it. So anyways, let's get going. Okay, so the first one, and I've got my cheat sheet here, which is exactly what's written down below. So, again, everything that you might need to know, yarns, pattern names, and everything are written below. And then again, the link to my Ravelry store is there as well, and hopefully working. Fingers crossed. Okay, so the first one that came out last year in January was the Cragmore vest. Cragmore is a home that my family had a long time ago here in Bermuda. But Cragmire, I think, is a TV show, so that's why I've got it. Anyways, Cragmore. Yeah. Gosh, you confuse yourself when you say things out loud. Anyways, I love this. This is a great vest cable. I knit 2 versions. This one is Pascuali Yarns Cashmere Charis, color 3, held with Isager Silk Mohair. Love it. This one I did a bit on the oversized look, which is wonderful, and I thought really fantastic. It's got a lovely drape, and actually I would like to knit with Charis again. It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn. And then I knitted a smaller one because I do like the look of a shrunken vest too, especially with like button down shirts and stuff. So this is a shrunken version, which actually the light is capturing the very dark cables, which is great because that's always a problem. I also omitted the sleeve ribbing at the side so that it goes in, on your shoulders, and as it fits, it's like this, so that you could have a fitted version or this sort of oversized kind of casual vest look. So this is a really multi-purpose design. Really easy cables, front and back. The back is just a ribbing that sort of is continues a bit. Here, let's do it on this one where you can see it. It sort of mimics the ribbing. Kind of mimics the front, but so the front is where all of the party is, and then just a really basic back, if I remember correctly. And the crazy thing is I spend hours and hours and hours and hours designing these things and knitting these things, and I totally know it at the time, and then literally like 2 weeks later I can't remember what I've done. So I'm going to fumble through this, but I'm pretty sure that you cast on for the back first, and then each side here with the increases, and then put the neckline on after. There's a lot of neckline instructions so that so picking up stitches is really easy. And yeah, and I think you pick up the stitches around for the sleeve full. I'm pretty sure you do, but again, that's optional. And you can see the two differences, and they look really pretty. It's really good to go through what you've knit because I forgot a lot of these things and I really like them, and that's really awesome. So okay, one down. Second one, Get Out of the Pool DK. I love this sweater, or this design, because I love hand-dyed yarn. I like when there's mixing of colors. I think that's really exciting. But I find sometimes when you have like zigzags and stuff, because it's pooled in one area, like really graphic zigzags, and then in another section like the sleeve where it's a different diameter, there's nothing. I find that chaotic for my mind. Like I want it to look cohesive all over the piece. So it's either all dramatic zigzags or it's not. And it's, you know, it has to look cohesive in my mind. It doesn't have to. There's always exceptions to the rules, right? I mean, I like some that do have that. But this, I really wanted to figure out how to make it cohesive throughout the whole piece. And I realized that the zigzags or the change of pattern making of a hand-dyed yarn throughout a piece is because of the diameter with which you're knitting. And so if you kept that diameter consistent the whole way through, then Bob's your uncle, and it will be consistent the whole way through. So that's why we did a fun challenge to find a name for this, and it was Get Out of the Pool DK, Get Out of the Pool, and I did a DK weight and a fingering weight version. That's what I'm trying to say. This is the DK weight version. I love it. The yarn is spectacular, and I think it's a cotton. And it is Great Adirondack Yarn Company Organic Cotton DK color Rosewood. So really pretty. I love this. I wore it a ton this summer, and could totally wear it on like a day when it's not too cold, but just you want a long sleeve. It would be a great layering piece. The sleeves are open quite wide, and again, it's so that the diameter of this round is similar to the width of this open. So again, everything is pretty much within a few stitches the same diameter that you're knitting. This is knit flat. You knit a front, you knit a back. You do some ribbing at the top and the bottom. Seam it up. You can make the neckline as wide or narrow as you want, because of course you're seaming this here. So I would recommend you just seam it a bit, leave it there, don't finish it off, put it on, make sure you like it, seam more, seam less, you know, it's all very customizable. And then a pickup, if I remember correctly, around the neck, which is like an I-cord bind off, just to make that more unified. So that's the DK version. And here is the fingering weight version. And the fingering weight version, it's funny, I guess I was in a sort of a basic color family theme. They're very similar in that I should have done more of a difference, but whatever. I love yarn and I get totally inspired by yarn. So this one is Bien Aimee and Twist Nouveau color Pop Grunge. And this is really great. I do love this because I can see, oh, my son's coming home. My husband's so cute. He put a sign on the door that said, "Shh, that's recording." So Oliver's probably going to slip it and we'll keep on going. Anyways, same construction. It's just a different gauge. This one I love. I actually found the cotton one a little bit more versatile for myself because I just can't wear merino in the heat. But it's a great layering piece and it's a great transitional piece too. So when it's not too hot out, there's Oliver. Yeah, when it's not too hot out, I can wear that. When it's sort of that in between. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so next one. I love this design. Love, love, love this design. So proud of it. And I'm just trying to make sure I'm showing you the front. So this is the front. So this is the Bermudiana. It's got a folded turtleneck, which sort of sits very nicely when you're wearing it. It's really sort of that sort of Scandinavian fit, I would say, where it's a fairly straight sleeve. It's a drop shoulder sweater, so of course you want it wide enough to drop over your shoulders. This yarn it's a fingering weight, so this yarn has, because of that, a lot of drape, and it just is so elegant as it lies on you. And the flowers here are to look like our national flower, which is called the Bermudiana. And it's really pretty. In the photo that I'm hoping to include, the cover photo, there should be a picture of what a Bermudiana flower looks like. Anyways, so that's that. I just love it. It's color work. There's never more than 2 colors in any row. It's satisfying to knit. It's knit. I did steek mine here, so that makes it always knitting in the round. You could knit it flat. I have theories of both because I'm doing a design that'll come out, this design here. But the benefit of knitting in the round and steeking it is that it's just easier. You don't have to do any purling with color work. The benefit of doing it flat is that you have less bulk here. Now this is a fingering weight yarn, so that the bulk, which I did steek, is very minimal. I just did a design that's a DK weight, this one, and it's a little bit thicker around the sleeve, and I just think that's really worth noting. So you kind of have to know what you're getting into and choose what works for you, and what you want to live with, or whatever. But pros and cons to everything in life, isn't there? Anyway, so that's the Bermudiana, and oh, this is great. This yarn was a gift from, the main color was a gift from my friend Priscilla, who went to that, it was the Fano knitting festival on an island in Denmark, and I couldn't go, and she went with her daughter, and yeah, and they had a great time, and she sent me home yarn, which was lovely. And it's this really beautiful yarn from G-uld, G-uld, and sorry, this is a wooden floor. It's a really old house, so you can hear the people walking. Sorry. G-uld New Zealand Lammeuld, so lamb's wool from New Zealand in the color Indigo. And then I used La Bien Aimee Winterfell held double with the La Bien Aimee Mohair Winterfell, color Winterfell, held double with a Rauma Finullgarn, just to make the leaves darker, and this darker. The Finullgarn that I had in stock was too pale, and it sort of blended in with that, so you don't need to. It's just I had to push the color a bit more with what I had, and then I just used a Rauma Finullgarn in the white for the stems, and I think that's really pretty, and I'm so looking forward to wearing that again. So let's put that away. As I fold them, I can get them out of the way. Yes, so that was the next one is the Check Yourself Raglan. Now this one I really, really love. This was inspired by this yarn. This yarn I saw at Rhinebeck in 2024, and it was just, the colors just reminded me of sort of traditional Scotch plaid, and it is Green Mountain Spinnery Ragg-Time, which I believe is a blend, recycled blend, and the color is Armstrong. And then I just held that with this black color, charcoal gray, which was Hudson Valley Fibers Moodna color Black Trumpet. And so this Ragg-Time changes color, it goes from the pinks to the reds to sort of grays and back again, and I loved that. And I used slip stitches to give the sort of check effect. And this I wore so much last winter. Love it, love it, love it. It's oversized. It's a raglan style. I call these sort of fits like an exaggerated raglan, so that it's really wide on the body, with a funnel neck collar. Love this sweater. Love the design. So that's that. Check Yourself Raglan. And I knit this twice, and I wanted it to be in more of a, that's kind of bold and festive and wintry, and then I wanted it also to be sort of to show what it would look like in more neutral colors or softer colors. And I really love this. I think this is so pretty. It's a great color for me. I'm looking in the mirror, or the video, thinking, ooh. No, anyways, but it's amazing how sometimes the color of pinks can pick up the undertones of pinks in your skin and your cheeks, and how flattering that is. I often think that when I'm looking at other people's videos and sweaters, etc. So especially some of the I can't remember the name of the podcast, the Knitting Twinnings. Those two girls look so good in the peach colors, because it just really pulls out the colors of their cheeks and their, smiles and stuff like that. And it's so, anyways, so finding that maybe we all need to find our warm rosy hues. But maybe this is my warm rosy hue. And this is Harrisville Daylights colored Chirp. So that's that one, which I think is just the Harrisville white with, I think Chirp has some black flecks, or is it something? All the Daylights have different colors, like mixed in with the white. And it is with Holst Garn Supersoft color Rosebud and the Wandering Flock Mohair Silk color Beach Party. Right. So the Beach Party, if you can see, the pink is not a uniform color, and that's because the Beach Party was a really muted, multicolored mohair, which was really create a lovely effect, modeled effect, with just my bog standard workhorse Holst Garn Supersoft and in a pink. So it comes across as reading pink in its entirety, but there's a lot of little colors in it, and that's what I think really gives it the depth and interest. So yeah, wow, it is fun to look back on these things, isn't it? I really like that. Gosh, I've gotta wear that soon. Let's put that up here. So then going from there to the Tulip tunic. This one was really fun. This one was totally inspired after my trip to Vogue Knitting in New York City last January, and I always go to Marimekko. I buy all my napkins from them. They're really great price, and they're like cool and funky. And so I love the Marimekko prints. They're classics, and they're bold and fun. So that inspired me with this. I also was having fun playing with texture, so I wanted the tulips to sort of look like flocking, if you remember a traditional fabric and wallpaper technique where you use sort of like a cut velvet on to contrast, and you can cut the pile, or you can put it with a solid, smoother pile fabric, and that was called flocking, and I just think it's a really cool effect, a really cool texture, which this is giving here. So I love tulips. Tulips are sort of my thing when it comes to flowers. We can't grow tulips in Bermuda. It doesn't get the cold frost, although it's really been chilly. Maybe this year we could, but I have forced them in the fridge before, but now we can't get bulbs of any sort. Sorry, divergent. We can't get bulbs because they get denied too many times exiting the US to come to Bermuda or Canada because of pests and stuff, and we don't want to import issues. So now there's like basically a ban on importing bulbs. So no more tulips in Bermuda, but I can wear tulips, and that's why I knit this sweater. So I love this. This is really fun. Again, boxy, oversized. Again, sort of that Scandinavian oversized fit that was really enjoying this year. The yarn was really cool because the first yarn, yes, so this is Primrose Yarn Company Replay Worsted, and I bought that at Rhinebeck in 2024, and I love that because again it's a recycled yarn, really cool. And then the chartreuse, or the lime green, or the vibrant color here is, oh that's right, Undergrowth. So this is another Primrose Yarn Company Homestead Sport, and then I held it with a Fiber MacGyver Surrey in, I should have maybe separated my lines more, Surrey Silk Colored Lemon. Yeah, so that was really fun, and like the other ones, I really want to wear that now too. So we'll put that here. So then I guess it was starting to get warm, and I was really thinking of summer knits, and I started my series on the mango tea. The mango tea was really, really a hit, and a hit personally too. It's really started me off on this kind of construction that I'm wearing now. And this is, I believe, my first one that I knit. And I like it because there's slight shoulder shaping. It lies really nicely and flat on your neckline. And the fit of it is just like an old shirt that I bought years and years and years and years ago at Mango that's now threadbare. And so it was a blue and white shirt and basically had stripes just like this, except blue and white. This is different colors, but the fit is almost the same. And I even mimicked the length. And I just loved that t-shirt and wore it. Made me feel really good, even on a really hot day when you don't want anything really touching you. And just how airy and easy breezy it was really appealed. So that's the concept behind this design. And I did the designs in both fingering weight and DK weight. And I love them, love them, love them. I've worn these so many times. So this version here is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk color Mandarin, and I think I held it double, or not. Look at my pattern. And then this is Wonderland Yarns and Frabjous Fibers Summer Silk color Nymph. So this was sort of one of a silk blend. So one hand dyed, the turquoise is hand dyed, and you can see the splotches, and the Mandarin color from Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. And I loved knitting with them both. They're great, and they both wore really beautifully. So I really recommend that for summer weather. The other one I did is with Plymouth yarn in nettle, because I wanted a sort of a neutral one so there's no stripes on this. And this is the one that I wore a ton. I had to be careful because the nettle, it is a bit scratchy if you're really hot and humid. Like if your pores are wide open, this is going to give you a bit of an itch. But if it's not like 30 degrees, if it's and the humidity is not 90%, you're probably fine. This yarn, unfortunately, is discontinued. I did find lots of issues with between skeins. I had luckily I bought a ton of skeins. I don't know why, but I could hand pick through them and work it out, which is my guess why it was discontinued. But a solid neutral like this, oh my gosh, got so much wear and keeps on ticking. Like it just keeps looking great. So that's that one. So this is still, I have it. I try to organize my cupboards with color because I'm very dictated by color with putting outfits together. I don't know what you do, but that's how I do it. And then I did a DK weight version. And this one here is Garn Studio Drops Bell color 4, which is the yellow, with Knitting for Olive Pure Silk held double. This is the one where I held the double. The original one is held single because it's a fingering weight sweater. Sorry. And again, loved this one. And I had steamed this, but this was at the bottom of the pile, so it's a bit wrinkly. But this is a great top again. Same construction, really great, totally a workhorse for summer. And if you look at what the other test knitters have done and other people that have knit since it's been published, you'll see all sorts of really cool color ideas, and people put in different stripes, different shape stripes, different, whatever. It's just a great workhorse pattern. So highly recommend that. And then in the DK weight version, I also helped talk about, so there was different necklines and stuff like that, and sleeves. So I also did this one here, which is a DK weight sweater with narrow sleeves, boxy fit. Oh, this was the very bottom of the pile after being steamed. Sorry. It looked so great before. And this is such a fun, do you see the color in there? Look at those, that glow. I love this one. And I finished this last year when it was just getting way too hot to wear it. So I need to wear this a lot this year. And this is the Wandering Flock Merino DK color highlighter and citrine. And if you were following me then, I was really debating what color to use for the citrine, because I could have done a pink, I could have done purple, I could have done orange. There's so many fun colors in that yarn there. And it's a really nice DK. It has a beautiful drape, as you can see, and again, really flattering. So that was really great too. This is not in the right spot. I'm really neurotic. But I will spend more time in reorganizing some of that because the yellows have to be together and there's like a green in there, which is not good. Anyways, I'm not that neurotic. Maybe a bit. So I'm going to stop there for now. My cheat sheet says that's all I've steamed. I've got stacks more to steam. Then I'll be right back to show you the rest of the designs from 2025. One sec. Okay, I'm back. Did a little steaming, and we'll keep on going. So after the Mango series, I did the Botanical Comfort, and this was in collaboration with Sophie from Botanical Yarn Company out of the UK, and I love her yarn. I love her color aesthetic, and I had so much fun designing and dreaming up what I thought would be a good version of what I picture a sweater in her company's likeness with her colorways and stuff like that. So I did sort of like a modern floral-ish at the bottom as a nod to her botanical ties, and used her colorways that I always think of when I think of her. So especially this hot pink, which she calls, which is at the tip of my tongue, but Monarda. And then there's some neon green, some purple, and neon yellow. But this hot pink in my mind is very her and her aesthetic. And then I loved this DK base, the neon neps. Can you see all those great colors in there? I even thought there was even like a really cool autumnal palette to go that would go here really well, that pick up these sort of oranges and greens. So it'd be like orange, green, hot pink, or and yellow would be another sort of cool autumnal version, but I just didn't have time to knit it all. This has a V-neck because I was conscious that I had a lot of sort of crew necks this year, and this what I call the Scandinavian sort of fit, the drop sleeve. I did a 3/4 really wide sleeve, which I just thought was really great and cozy. I wanted this in the name, I threw out there again, and thanks for everyone's help to coming up with a name. I wanted something sort of botanically inspired in the name, and also sort of cozy comfort, casual, and so Botanical Comfort someone came up with and was just ticked all the boxes, and I love it. It's a really fun knit, and actually I'm so tempted to knit another version of this, even in just solid color, because the turtleneck, the V-neck is really lovely and a nice addition to my collection, because I do tend to, or I used to, I feel like I might be actually changing, but I used to always really like to wear buttoned up shirts underneath my sweaters, and then a V-neck really fits that with how the collar come out. This year I've been wearing a lot of turtlenecks underneath my sweaters, so it's funny how maybe my tastes have shifted, or maybe it just hasn't gotten that cold yet. So where can I put this? This goes up here. Great. So that was the Botanical Comfort, and again, if you like those yarns, look at Sophie's website. Really great. She does beautiful, beautiful work there. So moving along to my Amba collection. This is when I knit 4 of one design. And the reason I knit 4 of one design is I started this in January. I hadn't really gotten it together to be published that winter, and it didn't really bother me at all. And I found it a really great pattern to blend yarns together to make a really nice bulky weight fabric. And I was really having fun through the spring last year. Yeah, it was all the spring. It was basically, I started this design in January when I came back from Vogue Knitting Live, and I'll show you which one, which is actually the 4th one in my pile here, was the inspiration. And that was after going to a Mayak show, I can't remember what they call it, and they're having it again this year in January. But Bien Aimee is there, and other vendors are there. Lina Magazine was there last year, and there's more coming this year. But anyway, so I found some really cool yarn, and I wanted to blend it with other things to make kind of really interesting shifting colors. So that one's at the bottom, and because I've just steamed them, I'm not going to go and dig for it because, you know, but I'll bring it up again. But then that took me on a tangent. And so this was actually the last one that I knit, which I might have actually knit this fall. And I loved it because there's sort of like a green and pinks and sort of golds in it. And for this one, I used La Bien Aimee Felix. I think I held it triple. Antique Grello. And then I held it with Kumo Color Fiori, which I think is a pink. A soft pink. Can't really remember. Or maybe it was actually a blend of colors too. But I just thought that was really pretty, and it goes with so many things. And then I used a remnant of a suri for the collar and for the hem. And in this pattern, there's tons of different options. So this hem is one circular hem. There's split hems, there's different collars, there's crew neck, there's turtlenecks, the sleeves are sleeveless. It's one of those choose your own adventures, which I've really been doing a lot this year, because I think a knitting pattern is a great guide, and I think there could be so many things that you could do with it. So with this one, this is a choose your own adventure too. So this is a choose your own adventure. So on this adventure, this is what I chose. And then I added a little embroidery at the collar, which I thought was really cute. And I love it. I think it's great for transitional days. Put that up there. This is another one I knit that years ago I had bought from Christina of Chelsea Luxe Yarns, a really beautiful mix of boucles and mohair in the color camouflage. I think she called them duets. She'd sell them as a package, and it just was really fantastic. And I love this one. This one's a little bit smaller, and I like that too. So it has a bit of a different fit and a different look, and I love that. And on this one, I did a high-low hem, split hem here, which I thought was really effective. And gosh, I want to wear this one again really soon too. That there in the green section. And then this was the one that is with like a lower collar line, big sleeves. And this is Diamond Lane Big Birdie color midge and Holst Supersoft color 53 aubergine. And this is where I was having fun marling colors and coming up with that really good look. Now the neat thing with this is I love this design, because what you're doing is, it is bottom up, don't freak out. It's not a big deal, just know how long you like your sweaters. So you cast on, knitting around and around and around to the underarm, knit flat, rejoin here, and then in the round you do these decreases, and then you continue in the same round and you do the neckline with, by changing your needle size. So it's a really, really, really cool construction, and that's why I had so much fun knitting so many of them. And again, I like these sort of slanted sleeve shapes because I really find it fits perfectly. So this is a really beginner friendly design. In the round, pretty much 85% of the way, and great to play with yarns and mixing and marling and things like that. So this is the Myamba series. If I didn't say it earlier, sorry if I'm mixing things up. And this was the inspiration one at the very bottom. This was this is Big Kumo and Amy's color called Amy Sweater. And again, I do love those yarns that have a lot of different colors in it. And you can see greens and pinks and blues and gosh, so many other sort of shades and tones in there. So, and grays and everything like that. And I held that with Holst Garn Hyacinth. Now, and super soft. And you'll see that I do hold these big sort of Surrey numbers with what I like Holst Garn or Jameson's and stuff like that. And I call them my workhorse yarns because I just find they really hold Surrey, the really big Surrey products. It gives them a bit more structure and stability. You don't need it for gauge necessarily, but I just think it'll make this vest last a lot longer, and not get sort of sloppy, if that makes sense, with stretch and stuff, because Surrey is an alpaca, and alpaca tends to stretch and grow. So that's when I really like to use my workhorse yarns. And I try to keep a good colorway stash. Oh, mixing the blacks and the grays. Living on the edge. I try to keep a good stash of that around. Again, I live on an island. Shipping to Bermuda sometimes is a pain. So I try to have a really good stash and an inventory, because when the inspiration strikes, I want to be able to dive right in, because then it'll passes, and a good idea might just come and just go, and I'd really like to grab it and go run with it. So now we're on to the last and final series of my year, and I do love this collection too. It's a similar fit, narrow sleeve, boxy body, really, really flattering, really great. And it's the Ride the Waves. I love Old Shale. I love anything sort of ripply. I love the zigzags of a Missoni pattern, so I'm really inspired by that kind of organic look. Yeah. Anyway, so that's this. So this is really fun. It's a great way of playing with color, playing with stripes. I've given a recommended stripe, setup. You don't have to do it. I've seen people knit this and check back in my in the pattern pages with it. There's people that have done it solid color and all sorts of color pairings. So this is sort of two tonal colors together, which I really love. These are from the Wandering Flock merino singles in Alexandrite and Neon Lilac. I really love it. And then with this sort of placement, so this placement within the waves. Now look at this one here. This again is two colors, but the placement in the waves changes, so it's a little bit more organic around the sleeves, if you can see, but it makes a big difference, or not so big, for whatever you think, but I think it's really cool. And then this one, again, the bottom of the pile has gotten more crinkles put in it, but I love this. This is using a spin cycle, and I think it's so cool. And the yarn, so this is spin cycle in the sport weight, which is, it's not Dream State, it's the dyed in the wool color Rosy Maple. And this yarn here, which I really love, I think it's a spectacular yarn, is Lanera Secretos color Hanalei Sunset. And I think this yarn just the colors are gorgeous, but just how the stitches sit together side by side is stunning. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for more of the Lanera Secretos. And apologies for my accent. I've never taken a Spanish class, and so I have no idea on pronunciation. Whew. So that's it. Sorry, my nose is now itching from all this fiber kind of around and everything like that. And yeah, so that's everything that was published. 2025, it was a really good year, a really fun year, a really creative year. Here's to another creative, fun, productive year in 2026. This is a little teaser for my first pattern coming out in 2026. This is called the Winter's Walk, and this will have multiple options. The original design is tunic length because I wanted to have it for like a winter's walk when you're wearing leggings and you're hiking boots and you're just out and about in the winter, in the chill and the cold, and you're keeping cozy and warm and being outside. This is another version I knit that is back to my sort of favorite fit, boxy body, slim sleeves. And then this one is using Utopia Sustain wool, so it must be another recycled wool. Colors Ecru, Olive, and Lilac, and I love it. So I've been wearing this, and I've been wearing the tunic one so much this Christmas because I have been wearing cozy things and leggings, a lot of leggings, because that's my jam. And it's been really cold here, so which means that it's been really cold on the east coast of the United States and Canada. In fact, I know that for sure. So I hope those in that part of the world are staying warm, because if we feel it in Bermuda, I know it's much worse there. And I know my friend coming in from Halifax is going to really enjoy the sunshine. It's cold in our house, but it's really lovely outside in the sun. So I'm sure she'll just rock up a chair in the garden. Anyways, so that's it. All these designs are 20% off for the next 2 weeks, no coupon required. I will do my very best to set it up properly. I usually do. I do make mistakes. If there's a mistake, let me know. And yeah, that's it for today. Hope everything is well with you. Hope you had a great holiday season, like I said before, and I hope very much for everyone to have a wonderful 2026. I think the feeling was 2025 was a rather bumpy year. I would agree. So let's hope 2026 is a bit more smooth sailing. So there we go. Anyways, wishing you all the very best, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next year. Bye. Bye.